Loud.
Take.
Boom! Alright. Hey guys. Fuck. Why am I doing
Just
that?
say like, hey guys.
Hey guys. No.
Just say. Just be
Hey
like.
you guys.
Hey, you guys.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's
Thank
like
you.
spot on. Looks and everything. Jesus. Hey, I'm Anthony. I'm 20 years old and I'm from Danbury, Connecticut. I got my first tattoo when I was 19. It was like a little over a year ago. And I only got one in Connecticut and the rest I've gotten here in New York City. Specifically from my one artist that I've had, you know, she's done I think over 10 tattoos on me at this point. She's an old Italian lady, and I love her to death. Yeah, I got my first one here on my leg. It was kind of sporadic, June, and I was like, hey, you know, I want a tattoo. Went to the place, and they're like, best we can do is August, and I was like, that's cool with me. So yeah, I got a skull with Scarlet Begonias on it because one of my favorite bands is Grateful Dead, and one of my favorite songs is Scarlet Begonias by them. What that kind of means to me is like my first tattoo. Why did I choose that one? Boy, I don't know. It was just really cool, I think. And no, in all honesty, I grew up with the Grateful Dead. Some of my closest friends and I listened to the Grateful Dead all together. They introduced it to me, and so I take it super seriously. And I don't know, I think a lot of my tattoos kind of share the same theme of like nostalgia, and it's just basically all like memories that like been printed onto my body now. I like patchwork a lot. I'm gonna say that, patchwork, because I like little pieces at a time, and it's kind of random and sporadic. It looked cool. I like that. I feel like patchwork kind of lets you build and add things. It's like when you're a Boy Scout and you have like the sash and you have like all the badges on it. It's like patchwork is like, well, I was here at this point in my life when I got this, and this means that, and like you just kind of add and add and add as you go along, and it also kind of like looks cooler, in my opinion. And yeah, it's like a scrapbook, like a human scrapbook, pretty much. My next one after that was this one, actually. This one is the cover for the Eagles album, One of These Nights. Just one of those things where it was just like the amount of memories I have listening to that album, as well as like the people that I associate that album to and the songs specifically on it. I don't know, it means a lot to me, and I really enjoy the memories that I have associated with it. After that is the chocolate bar, my favorite tattoo, because everybody asks what the chocolate bar is for, and I usually have two answers. One, okay, I'll reenact it. Hey, is that a chocolate bar in your leg? And I go, a chocolate bar? That was supposed to be a picture of my dog. You're saying the lady messed up? And everybody gets a big chuckle. By everybody, I usually mean just myself. But that's okay too. But in actuality, it's the 1975 song, Chocolate. The song, well, I don't know, that's a big thing too, right? Is interpretation of like what songs mean to people. Obviously, the artist probably has one thing in mind. Other people have one thing in mind when they listen to it. But for me, when I listen to Chocolate, I think about being a stupid kid doing stupid things that you probably shouldn't have been doing, but you did them anyways. Just like the rush, being like 16 again in your friend's car when neither of you guys have your license and you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing. And yeah, and I think that means a lot to me because like no matter how old I get, I can always look at that and kind of remember the days of being young and also like kind of not taking things too seriously sometimes. I got the next three all in one sitting and kind of like mood shift here, I guess. All these other ones are kind of like memories and like, woo, fun. And then I don't know, I must have been feeling some type of way when I got these three because they're all much more serious. The three-headed dog is like kind of a double whammy. One part of it's for Dogs by Pink Floyd, off of one of the best albums ever, Animals. And it also is like Cerberus, a three-headed dog from Greek mythology, which kind of like the protector of the underworld, which is kind of sick. But the dog's meaning is more so towards the song, I guess. But for me, it was like, what type of person am I gonna be? Am I gonna be someone that like follows everything and just shakes his head yeah to everything? Or am I gonna be someone that like sees that and like makes my own interpretation of it and does what makes me happy, and you know, it's okay to go against the grain? I don't know, it's kind of stupid when you say it out loud, but in my head it made a lot of sense and meant a lot. The 444 in the back of my arm is a Jay-Z reference and an Angel Number reference. Surprisingly, not a lot of people recognize it for the Jay-Z thing. I thought a lot of more people would, but more people get it for the Angel Numbers thing. It's not the whole entire album, it's just that song specifically. It talks about, I don't know, owning up to your actions, and like obviously what he talked about is like, you know, kind of screwed up and cheated on Beyonce, which like who in their right mind would. But in my interpretation of it, it's about asking for forgiveness when you've done something wrong and making your future choices as if, you know, your future kids are looking at you or your family's looking at you. Every time I would do something, I'd think about like, because I have a niece and nephew, right? So I'd be like, damn, like what if I had to explain to my niece and nephew what I just did? Like, would I be proud of myself? Like, no. I tried to do now with my actions. If I do something would I be okay with like my own family knowing about it? Would I be proud enough to talk about it with them? Oh, and then the one on my chest is a butterfly with the letter U, and that is a Kendrick Lamar reference, and that is for the song U off of To Pimp a Butterfly. And again, different interpretations, but for me, it was about like me dealing with myself as a person and like getting to know myself more, like even with my mistakes and like what I've done wrong, but also like what I've done right. Kind of dealing with your own self and taking the good with the bad is my interpretation of it. The Zoso on my arm is matching with my dad. It's a Led Zeppelin reference. So each member of Led Zeppelin had like a symbol that represented him. And I got the guitarist, Jimmy Page. My dad has the drummer, John Bonhams. My dad's a drummer and I'm a guitarist, and music, clearly, if you haven't picked up on it, means a lot to me. And my dad was kind of one of those guys that kind of introduced me at a young age to all different types of music, and one particular was Led Zeppelin. It's probably one of the first bands I can remember listening to, and so I continue to love their music, and so does he, and so it just kind of felt right. I don't know if he like definitely is like, woo, go get another one, but he's definitely really supportive, and I really appreciate it. And I mean, enough to get a matching one with me, so what can you say, right? It means a lot to like have something like both family and music related and matching with someone you like or you tolerate. Just kidding. My dad and I are cool. Oh, that makes it sound bad. No, like, he's like my best friend. Underneath that first tattoo I got the words "Are You Kind," which is another Grateful Dead reference, and it's from a song called Uncle John's Band. And I got that matching with my best friend Emily, because we grew up in high school with each other, and she's like one of the people that got me into the Grateful Dead. I don't really know what it means, to be honest. Like Uncle John's Band, you kind of listen to it and you're like, I don't know what's going on. But the lyric "Are You Kind" sticks out, and we got it matching in the same place on our knees. And then same day I got the bunny rabbit. She also has a bunny rabbit, so we have two matching tattoos. Same day we got these. The bunny rabbit for me is twofold. It's actually a movie this time, so not just music. There's a movie called Harvey from the 1950 with Jimmy Stewart in it, and it's all about this guy that has an imaginary friend that's a bunny rabbit. And it sounds stupid, but it is actually one of my favorite movies because it talks about friendship, and it talks about how you treat people and the relationships that you make with people, and that's a big deal to me. And there's also the song Harvey by Hers, which also is a really amazing song, but it's actually based off the movie. Harvey is like kind of like, you know, your friend, the bunny rabbit, so Emily and I have matching bunny rabbits. Oh, and then the next one is the snake on my chest and the cloaked skulls. I like skeletons a lot, so I got a cloaked skull with like red eyes. Skeletons! Skeletons! Both of those are like technically Metallica references because it's like Creeping Death and then the Black Album, but I don't really take it that seriously with that. It's more just like skeletons are cool and snakes are fun. Lastly, but not leastly, is this one. I got this one like a month ago. This is another Grateful Dead reference. It's a hand holding 4 aces, and it's the song Deal, which is don't let that deal go down. It's about knowing what you're getting into before you do it. Another skeleton hand, because skeletons are cool, and I like skeletons. I feel like it just was like kind of bound to happen. You know, every like family has like the siblings, right? And like one sibling's like the normal sibling that does the normal things, and then there's that one wild sibling that like everybody's kind of like yeah, there's like that one sibling that like does all the weird stuff and moves to New York City. Well, I'm the sibling that moved to New York City, and I've always loved like heavy rock and guitars and motorcycles and all that stuff. So I always kind of just saw myself like at some point I was gonna get tattoos, and then it was a matter of, well, what design did I really like, and it had to matter to me, so yeah. That is it. Those are my tattoos. They all mean so much to me, and I have a couple more in the future planned. If my mom doesn't kill me before then for having so many tattoos, that's okay though. Yeah, I appreciate you listening to me. Ramble about music and tattoos. Why did I decide to get tattoos in the first place?
Yeah, what inspired you to get tattoos?
I got zero hoes, and then I was like, "What is gonna get me the?" No, can you imagine? All right, now start over. You can't put that. Please don't put that in.
I'm gonna use it. Just keep going.
No, you cannot use that. I do not allow it. Why is it so hard to look this good all the time? I don't know. Why are you so cool? Again, I don't know. How do you handle the coolness of having so many cool tattoos? It's like being people off of the stage. It's the Thesis chain. It's like the fake Jesus chain. They used to have a Jesus pendant on it, but I lost the pendant.
You lost Jesus?
I lost Jesus. My bad. My bad, PM.